Check 1 2 1 2. Checking Benny 1 2 3.
1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5.
Good afternoon from Cologne, Germany. It is the first of two on this final day of the 2017 World Hockey Championship, the bronze medal game between Finland and Russia. Russia's won medals in the last 3 World Championships. Coming off a disappointing loss to Canada yesterday, a 2-0 lead after 2 periods of play, but Andrei Vasilevsky and company gave up 4 goals to Canada in the third and dropped the decision 4-2. Finns were beaten 4-1 by Sweden in their semifinal game. And Ray, you talked about it earlier. Vladislav Gavrikov will not play for the Russians this afternoon after being injured late in that game against Canada.
A 6th-round pick by Columbus. He is a terrific young player, and that will be a tough loss for the Russians. And hopefully Gavrikov was not hurt too seriously on a rather ugly-looking incidental contact play with Alex Killorn.
Marcus Hannikainen shoots. That's tipped by Osula and turned away by Andrei Vasilevsky.
Quick stop for Vasilevsky after sharp in-close deflection.
Billy Lyon, a long shot, and that gets down to Vasilevsky as well, and he makes the save and hangs on.
A nice first shift for the Finns. They get in on the forecheck, and Hannikainen's going to spin and shoot this towards the net. You're going to see Osula reach out with a stick. He deflects it out of the air. But Andrei Vasilevsky, who is a terrific young goaltender with the Tampa Bay Lightning, played 50 times this year. He's played all but 80 minutes of this tournament. Made his first stop this afternoon.
Feels like he's been around forever, Ray. He's 22.
We saw him from the age of 16 when he started at the World Junior team at the World Junior Tournament with Russia. He has had the look of a #1 goaltender, and he is that now.
Off the draw, Valtteri Filppula back in the corner with it. And Filppula drops that back line and in, shoots, and Gusev got a stick on him. Russia has lost 2 of its last 3, has scored first in all but 1 game in the tournament. The only time they didn't was their loss to the United States in the last round robin game. Lehtinen back for Filppula to Ville Laine. Lehtinen got spun around. Savanainen plays it back out to center ice and gathered up there by Evan Provorov with the Philadelphia Flyers. Great rookie year for Provorov. The year after he was the Canadian Hockey League's Defenseman of the Year with the Brandon Wheat King. Part of that bushel of young defense prospects they have in Philadelphia. Mika Pierala fires that wide to the goal up the other side for Jesse Puljujärvi. He slapped that wide. And Lehtinen back to pick it up. We were talking with some Finnish officials before the game, Ray, and they were talking about for a small country like Finland, winning a bronze medal is a major accomplishment. They take pride in their ability to win bronze medal games. They lost back-to-back bronze medal games in 2012 and 2013.
And very aware that.
And a quick chance for Antti Pilström, stopped by Vasilevsky.
That this year's team is certainly not the team or the caliber of last year's team when they went all the way to the gold medal game before losing 2-0 to Canada. This is a team lacking in star power. Their best players are two of their youngest, and Sebastian Aho and Mikko Rantanen.
Finns have won medals in 6 of the last 11 World Championships. And a long shot. Vasilevsky makes the save, and the rebound knocked away by Kiselevich. On that point shot by Lehtinen. Loose at center ice. And a slow start for the Russians as Nemestikov got spun around there, knocked off the puck by Pilström. Point pass for Plotnikov missed, and Topiakala goes back to pick it up. An uneven opening round, to say the least, for the Finns. Lost to France for the first time, blew a 3-0 lead, lost to the Czechs. Trailed Slovenia before winning it, allowed the tying goal late to Norway before winning that one in overtime. Got down 2-0 to Switzerland before finally winning that one 3-2 in OT. They played their best game of the tournament, you thought, Ray, against the United States in the quarter.
Yeah, shutting out the U.S. I thought was a pretty significant upset. The U.S. had a terrific tournament, a young, aggressive team, and the Finns just checked them into submission, and the U.S. never got on track in that 2-0 shutout.
Larry Nichushkin had that knocked away. And Hannakainen has it back. A long shooting, goes off the end boards and drops down in behind Vasilevsky. Gusev fires that down. Gusev scored the 2-0 goal against Canada in the second period. At that point, the Russians had a wide edge in play. Numerous power plays.
The Finns have come out to work here. They have the only 3 shots of the game in the first 3.5 minutes. The Russians are kind of slumbering and lumbering around the ice, and it's always a variable in this bronze medal game is can you find the will to play as hard as you need to? It seems like it should be easy. It's just not. When you get into this game, it can be just a little bit dozy. You know that the off season is about 2.5 hours away, and sometimes the game gets away from you before you even get into it.
For a player like Vadim Shipachyov, just shown there, the next stop from here will be Las Vegas in the National Hockey League.
2-year, $4.5 million per year deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. And
his NHL debut was a 30-year-old.
Gonna have to adjust to the league, but he's a terrific passer and a highly skilled offensive player.
Now Gusev works in, walks in and fires when the save is made by Joonas Korpisalo, who's back in goal now for the Finns. Last appeared in their game against the Swiss, allowed 2 goals on 6 shots, got pulled before the Finns came back to win that game. Since then, it's been Harry Sateri, the goaltender for the Finns. Mikko Rantanen knocked off the puck by Dadonov. Finland-Sweden is a fairly friendly rivalry. This is not. Finns do not have a great view of Russians. It's historic and bitter. Wound in now by Panarin. Timmy Panarin drops it back. Nikita Kucherov feeds it back at the point. Anton Belamov's shot. Korpisalo swatted that down. And here's Sebastian Aho with it. Maybe the turning point in the tournament for the Finns when Aho moved to center for the game against the United States. He'd been playing the wing in the preliminary round. Evgeny Kuznetsov works in. Kuznetsov Puts the rink wide. Kucherov in, plays it across, and Panarin with a hard shot. And diving out of the way was Belov on the other side of the net. That puck barely missed hitting him.
I wasn't sure if that puck goes over the net. Belov's right in harm's way.
Aho works it in deep for Antti Pilstra. Aho back with it. Plays it back at the point. Lassie Kuprin with a shot, hit a leg. And Nemestikov has it back for the Russians. Pokes that ahead for Kucherov. Kucherov trying to play it across for Plotnikov. That pass went off a stick and high. Look at pace here in the opening period.
The Russians just starting to get to the party here, so as now you have two teams skating, it becomes a much quicker game to look at.
Barabanov tries to work in now. And Lehtonen drops that back for Hietanen. Miro Aaltonen, it's spun around there. Looks ahead for Osula. Oscar Osula. In Mississauga in the Ontario Hockey League for a couple of years at Osula. That pass almost knocked down by Hanikainen and brought in now by Andronov. Works in, shoots, and Korpisalo makes a save. Ivan Telegan feeds that back at the point. And Dmitry Orlov was being harassed there by Osula. He has to retreat. Valeri Nichushkin centers it there. Andronov bumped off the puck by Järvinen. Hanikainen trying to work it free. Nichushkin has it now. Valeri Nichushkin works in behind the goal, drops that back to Orlov. Dmitry Orlov shoots through the traffic. That went wide. Hanikainen might have got a piece of that. And now Nichushkin gathers it back up. In the corner for Antipin. Drops it back. Score! A bullet shot off the bench by Nikita Gusev. And the Russians take a 1-0 lead.
Gusev's sixth of the tournament. You mentioned Gordy comes off the bench. Valeri Nichushkin starts this play and reverses the puck down the boards and then continues on to change. You see Nichushkin gets knocked on his can at the bench. So as he's getting up, Gusev's already come off the bench. And Antipin, who really impressed me in the game yesterday against Canada, finds Gusev. Korpisalo gets a chunk of this. And Gusev, who's a Tampa Bay draft pick, 7th rounder in 2012, scored yesterday on the power play, scores today in the first period, and the Russians have the 1-0 jump.
Gusev had an injury-riddled season, played just 18 games for Dynamo Moscow. As you mentioned, a 7th-round pick of Tampa in 2012 when the Lightning, 2011 and 2012, really went to town on drafting Russian players. Vasilevsky, first-round pick in the 2012 draft. Now a centering pass, and that shot goes off the leg. Aho had it bounced to him, brought in now by Julius Honka. That's picked off, and a lead pass by Shipachev in for Dodonov. Dodonov in, shoots, fired that just wide. Shipachev. By the way, you'll notice it's spelled Y-O-V on the end here. In the World Championship, in the NHL, it'll be Shipachev, E-V. The difference in translating the Russian alphabet. And a disagreement between how the IIHF does it and the NHL. Sergei Fedorov would have been Fedorov in today's world.
They got too many letters in their alphabet for the direct translation.
3 extra ones, I think. It's a 29-character alphabet.
I learned last year an F is an O with a circle through it, or a circle, or an O with a line through it.
Yeah. Your name looks interesting in Russian, actually.
Yeah, it looks like Opepa, which is kind of interesting.
The kids calling Opepa.
The kids kind of liked it.
Aaltonen throws that down the Russian zone, and Provorov plays it across to Andrei Mironov.
Mironov didn't play yesterday, and he is signed with the Colorado Avalanche. He will join the Avalanche in June once he gets his visa stuff worked out. He'll move to Denver, start getting acclimatized, and get ready for his first NHL training camp. Mironov, just 22 years old, was a 4th-round pick by the Avs in 2015.
Barabanov trying to take that free for the Russians. And Here is Lehtinen. Across to Hietanen. Savanainen looks ahead. That's batted back down to the Russian zone, and Orlov goes back to pick it up. Dmitry Orlov and Evgeny Kuznetsov joined this Russian team after the Capitals were knocked out, and that long shoot in by Orlov knocked away by Korpisalo. Alexander Ovechkin did not join Russia after a nasty lower leg injury he suffered in the opening round against Toronto. Hausela plays it around to Jääkelä. Topi Jääkelä. Works it out now and banks that down. Jääkelä plays for Ilford Helsinki in the KHL, a venerable Finnish team, and now plays in Russia's top league. 1-0 the Russians lead here in the first period. Gusev played for St. Petersburg in the KHL. They are the back-to-back KHL champions. Ilya Kovalchuk, a member of that team, did not join Team Russia. Instead had some minor knee surgery. He's hopeful to return to the NHL next year, so got that cleaned up.
I love how surgeries are talked about. Oh yeah, he just had his knee cleaned up. No, it's not sweeping the floor. You know, they are cutting into his knee, and they're going to try and fix what's ever in there. And you always get the report, successful surgery.
No one's ever said, you know, unsuccessful surgery didn't go as well as we'd hoped. You know, a hand pass called at center ice as Katchev knocked that down.
There you see Gusev get lost at the top of the zone. We've talked a little bit about this, Gord, about how forwards are getting lost and they hide towards the top of the offensive zone. It's difficult for the defense to find them and to step out on them. And this time it allows Gusev to step into that pass from Antipin. And lots of talk that Victor Antipin has signed an NHL deal and is on his way to North America in the fall. Not yet announced publicly, though.
Intriguing decisions for Russian players because there's the opportunity to play in the Olympics now. If you don't go to the NHL, you'd have to think that the core of this team of KHL players, only 7 NHL players on the roster, will be in Pyeongchang for the Russians.
But if we know Moranov is going, there's 1. We know Shipachev is going, there's 2. We know Antipin's going, there's 3. Plus the NHL guys. Now you're half of this team that's not even going to be there. It's going to be a wild card tournament for sure.
Shipachev a long shoot in, and Korpisalo makes the save. Adam Shipachev, 26 goals this year for SK St. Petersburg.
50 assists. He's a playmaker, really good passer of the puck. And when he gets the puck, it looks like he's going to hold it. I'll be interested to see when he gets to the NHL when you can't hold it because the back pressure is so much more vigorous. Will he be able to get rid of the puck and clear the space for his wingers as well as he does here on the big ice?
We saw Panarin 2 years ago at the World Championship in Prague, and you were convinced that he would translate his game to the NHL. What about Shipachev?
I'm a little more leery of Shipachev only because Panarin was 23, and it's far easier to change your game a little bit. When he came to the NHL, Shipachev, as we've mentioned a couple times, he's 30 years old, and it's going to be a big adjustment for him. What he's going to lose is that play when he comes over the line here and slows up. You slow up, you get snowed under from behind. He's going to have to keep the puck moving towards the net.
Rink wide pass to Panarin. The tournament point later. Artemi Panarin works in. Moves in on Hietanen, then trying to buy some time. Panarin centers it. Got by Kuznetsov. Walking in a quick shot there by Barabanov. Stopped by Korpisalo.
An interesting play by Kuznetsov as Artemi Panarin goes down the left wing and is going to get corkscrewed into the corner. Watch 92. Kuznetsov come into the slot, and he steps over top of this puck. He knows Barabanov is coming from behind. Now this is a 15-foot wrister that Korpisalo turns aside, but an interesting play, awareness of Kuznetsov to step over top of that puck to allow the scoring chance to occur.
Sergei Plotnikov in the corner with it. Plotnikov was a free agent to Pittsburgh in 2015, got traded to Arizona midway through his first year, did not score in 45 NHL games. And now fired down, an icing call against the Finns.
This is the problem for the Finns. We saw early in the game, they work hard. They have to be on the puck, but they can't really get to it to hold it a lot. And so if they get a chance, they better score, because they're not going to get very many of them. They got the one yesterday to tie the game up against the Swedes 1-1, but they gave up those 2 power play goals in the second period, and it just felt like it was over. It didn't ever feel like there was going to be a comeback.
Run. Russia's had 7 of the last 8 shots in this game now, after the Finns had the first 3. Andronov, who was on the receiving end of a couple of nasty plays in that game against Canada, got crunched by Braden Shin, hit his face on the ice and got cut, and then blocked a shot by Colton Parayko that hit him right above the shin pads and right below his thigh protector.
He had a couple of times, as you mentioned, where he was sitting there with the trainer and it didn't look like his day was going to continue.
Apparently you could hear him screaming at ice level after blocking that shot from Parayko.
Darren Drager was down there, and you could hear it so clearly. We groan up here watching Parayko's shot get blocked.
Aho waiting for it. Aho got knocked down by Dodonov. He centers it there. And Sapachev couldn't knock it down. Brought back by Aho. Sebastian Aho lifts that down, but Gusev got in the way and plays it back to center ice. Ultima centers that for Aho. Sebastian Aho at the 20-goal mark as a rookie for the Carolina Hurricanes this year. Drops that back, and Honko with a quick shot. Vasilevsky makes the leading save and hangs on. 1-0 Russia leads here in the first period. The bronze medal game in Cologne.
Half of it for the juniors and half of it for the jackpot. Every 5th block is a win. Current jackpot €730. Liebe Eishockey-Fans, unterstützt den deutschen Eishockey-Nachwuchs und kauft ein Los bei der 50-50-Lotterie. Die Hälfte geht direkt in die Nachwuchsarbeit, die andere Hälfte in den Jackpots. Jedes 5. Los gewinnt und der derzeitige Jackpot steht bei €730.
Дамы и господа, поддержите программу развития детского хоккея Германии. Купите лотерейные билеты 50-50. 50 на 50. Одна половина выигрышей пойдет на работу с молодыми хоккеистами, другая на джекпот. Каждый 5 билет выигрышный. На настоящий момент джекпот составляет €730. Спасибо.
Lauri Marjamäki is the head coach of the Finnish national team. First year behind the bench for him. He opened at the World Cup of Hockey, where the Finns fell flat. Lost all 3 games, outscored 9-1. Then they came here, barely beat Belarus in their opener, and lost to France 5-1. The first time the French had ever beaten the Finns.
There's a couple really good moments for the French in that tournament on their side of the draw. The game against Canada was outstanding. The building was full and it was loud and energetic. The win against the Finns, as you mentioned, just missing out on a quarterfinal bid.
In comes Panarin, drops that back. Artem Zub had his shot blocked, gets it right back. Kucherov plays that back for Panarin. And the pass by Kuznetsov was off a stick, way up and out of play.
Ivan Provorov had a fantastic rookie season for the Flyers. Gord, you touched on it earlier, just 20 years old. Such poise reading the play. He stays up and trusts his skating ability to help defend up at the blue line, and when he gets it, he can really move the puck. He's got a terrific future in front of him.
Came to North America at the age of 14 to play hockey. Mention went to the Brandon Wheat Kings, where he was a first-round pick to Philadelphia. Anton Belov plays it down for Plotnikov. A centering pass tipped wide there by Nemesnikov. And a penalty coming now to the Finns. It'll be a holding call on Philly Lyonen. And now more pushing, and Shevin breaks up Plotnikov.
Kukkonen got him with a left jab. Kukkonen's a pretty nasty, tough, old-school defenseman. And once the penalty was called, the puck went to the end boards, and Kukkonen started bopping around with Plotnikov. Here's the wrap-up by Lyonen that is called. Lyonen's complaining that Nemesnikov has got his stick in his left hand. And then at the end of the play, Plotnikov knocks Filppula down, and this is where the two of them, Kukkonen and Plotnikov, start wrestling around.
The Lyonen penalty is the only one on the board right now, although the Russian penalty box door is open as well.
I think they're going to wrestle Plotnikov and Kukkonen into the box as well. As always, Oleg Zarnak, the Russian coach, up on the bench. As we see Lauri Marjamäki, the 39-year-old Finnish coach, but Zarnak's up on the bench, ties askew. And it looks like he got dressed in a hurry to get here. The Russians' power play, which is 15 for 31, will get the game's first power play.
And finally, Plotnikov makes his way across. It will, however, as you mentioned, be a Russian power play. Line up way at the top of your screen is Panarin. The Russians won that face-off. They tried to tip it across to him. Now, Yanni Lyonen shoots it in. Knocked down by Vasilevsky. Here's Panarin with it.
And Team Finland, number 5, Lasse Kukkonen, and Team Russia, number 16.
9 different Russians have scored power play goals in the tournament.
Might be easier to list who doesn't have them.
Gusev swings that rink wide. Gusev leads the way with 3.
Canada's penalty killers did an outstanding job yesterday as they killed off 3 out of the 4. And the goal they gave up was Gusev's power play goal that was a cross crease pass that flubbed off his stick, hit his foot, and went behind Calvin Pitkin.
Funny, we talked about that game being a matchup of 2 powerful power plays. It was. They both scored the man advantage, but the real difference in the game, both teams' penalty killing was exceptional.
It really was, and it's funny how penalty killing, defensive play can stymie good offense if you're aggressive and confident enough to play when you don't have the puck.
It was back-to-back even strength goals by Canada that blew it open in the 3rd period. Kuznetsov drops it back, and the play is offside as Antipin brings it in.
Well, this hasn't been the best Russian power play. 1 minute and 10 seconds in, they haven't even been in the zone yet. The Finns, these are critical minutes for them. They're not going to score a lot today. So you don't want to find yourself down a couple goals where you start to look at whether it's even possible to come back.
Kuznetsov tries to pick that free. That's moved down the ice by Savanainen. Orlov winds his way in. Dmitry Orlov drops that back for Kuznetsov with a head of steam. In comes Evgeny Kuznetsov. Drops that back for Nemesnikov, and that pass bounced by him. Nemesnikov was one of those 3 Russians drafted by the Lightning with their 3 first picks in 2011. Kucherov swings back. He was our 2nd round pick. Everyone else was zigging away from Russians, and the Lightning grabbed 5 of them in 2 years. They've been okay.
Leading the pack is Kucherov. What a couple of seasons he's put together. Over 40 goals this past year. MVP candidate.
Now for Nichushkin, that pass too far for him. An icing is called against the Russians. 3:42 to go here in the first period. The Finns were being outplayed like this against the Swedes yesterday. Got a quick tying goal, but then the game got away from them.
And the Russians certainly didn't do anything to help themselves in that last couple of minutes. And the Finns plug away, they stay close, they work hard. The thing they've got to do is find a way to generate a chance here. They haven't really had the puck much in the last 10 minutes.
From Zub, out to center ice for Telegan.
Zub is a rarity on this lineup. There's one of 3 right-handed players. It's actually kind of astounding. You look out and they're all left-handed. Panarin's not, Gusev, and Zub is the only defenseman that shoots from the right side.
10 years ago, the Russian national team had all left-handed shots one year.
Hard to explain.
Nichushkin bats that down, and Lassi Kukkonen back to pick it up, playing in his 10th World Championship for the Finns. Today, 2 great Finns were honored at the IIHF Hall of Fame inductions. Teemu Selanne and Saku Koivu went in, along with Angelo Ruggiero, Joe Sakic. On the inductees,
Uwe Krupp.
Uwe Krupp, the great German, grew up 15 minutes from where the ceremony was held.
And Tony Hand.
The Scottish great one.
There was some great footage of him scoring and playing for Scotland. There's some.
Sipichev picks it up, works in a backhand shot, shot by Corpusalo, rebound, and eats that up as well.
2 good stops. Puck turned over weakly in the middle of the ice, and Sipichev is going to steal the puck, and Corpusalo with 2 stops, not just the first one, but he's got to follow it to make the save on the second one.
Some of the footage of Tony Hand playing in Great Britain. There's curling rings on the ice.
Multi-purpose, that's a multi-purpose arena.
Kampanen saves it, that's tapped wide by Pilstrom. Now Gusev back with it. Gusev swings that rink wide to Donov, centers it, and Sipichev taken down there by Pilstrom, and the Finns counterattack as Miro Aaltonen has it. Aaltonen works in. Belov kicks at it. Belov had all kinds of penalty problems yesterday. Got 2 and 10 for a check to the head. They stepped into the box and probably got another 2. Spent the better part of the second and third period in the box. Orlov back to pick it up. Dmitry Orlov.
Look at the Finns, they got 5 guys back on their side of the red line as the Russians pick up the puck.
Osula swings it ahead for Hannakainen. Osula plays that in, rolls down to Vasilevsky. Missed on it, loose puck in front, and Billy Lyon, or Jääskeläinen rather, couldn't get to it. Here's Panarin winding in. The Russians are changing as Panarin wheels back of the line, drops that back. Kucherov in, failing the shot. Now picked up by Panarin. Feeds it back across. And that time, Kucherov tipped that just wide as Kuznetsov headed down to him.
Now Kucherov's going to take a penalty as he flipped down Julius Honka.
Corpusalo goes to the Finnish bench for the extra skater. And Honka, it's tied up there by Nichushkin. Picked up by Aho. Sebastian Aho skates away from Nichushkin, drops that back for Savanainen. Savanainen up for Hietanen. Hietanen lays it down to Savanainen, drops it back. For the line, and shot kicked away by Vasilevsky. Aho to Hietanen, back to Sebastian Aho. That goes off the leg of Nichushkin. Now Billy Lyon leans on that, and Vasilevsky makes the save just as the horn was about to sound. And Kucherov's been sitting on the bench for a good minute.
Kucherov just missed 2 chances. He runs Honka into the net as they battle here for the puck. Kucherov gets his left arm up and flips down Julius Honka, who makes sure everybody sees that he goes down. Second power play for the Finns will essentially be starting in the second period.
Everybody clap your hands.
Off the draw, quick chance there for Puljujärvi. They got a chance away before the horn.
Team Russia, number 86, Nikita
And the
Kucherov.
Finns
2 minutes penalty for roughing.
will have, they'll say 2 minutes of power play time to carry over into the second period. 1-0 the Russians lead here in the bronze medal game.
За голом штрафом наказан Никита Кучеров, номер 86, команда России.
And here's the score for the first period. Team Russia 1, Team Finland 0.
Счет 1-0 в пользу команды России. Статистика бросков по минутам в первом периоде. Россия 10, Финляндия 9.
Итоги стартового периода матча за третье место на чемпионате мира. Россия и Финляндия подводим вместе с защитником нашей сборной Андреем Мироновым. Андрей, ну, первый вопрос. Вы пропустили несколько игр. Как вот скатились?
Нормально все. Все хорошо. Я тренировался и на льду, и с командой все время постоянно. Должен быть свеженький.
После драматичного вчерашнего матча, какое настроение в команде на сегодняшнюю игру? Какой настрой?
Быстрее постарались все забыть, потому что сейчас, сегодня самый главный матч на этом турнире у нас. Поэтому надо выложиться по полной, отдать все свои силы, максимально все просто. Даже доставать их оттуда, откуда не достать.
Спасибо большое. Андрей Миронов подводил вместе с нами итоги стартового периода матча за третье место Россия-Чехия. Россия-Финляндия, простите.
It's the first intermission and we want to have a look at the top 3 saves of the semi-finals yesterday. You can watch them on the screen now. In der ersten Rückpause gönnen wir uns einen Blick auf die Top 3 Torhüterparaden des gestrigen Tages. Also, hier kommt sie auf dem Videowürfel, die Top 3 Saves der Halbfinalspieler.
Дамы и господа, сейчас по традиции в первом перерыве вашему вниманию предоставляется 3 лучших момента игры вратарей в полуфинальных матчах.
Welcome back on the ice, Team Finland!
Дамы и господа, встречайте сборную команду России!
Russians will start this second period shorthanded. Nikita Kucherov The penalty came with 0.6 seconds remaining in the first period, but it's posted as a full 2 minutes because the full second didn't expire in the first, and so Finland gets its first power play to start the second period.
Finnish power play has 6 goals in the tournament. Rantanen gets to the front of the net. He's a real dangerous player there. He's got 3 of the 6 power play goals.
Rantanen got clobbered yesterday by Anton Strålman in that game against Sweden. Right at the Sweden line, a huge collision, maybe the biggest we've seen in the tournament. Ville Laine plays it down for Aho. Sebastian Aho tries to center it, that's knocked away by Kiselevich, and he plays it down the ice. And Hietinen, who also has a pair of power play goals, goes back for it. Juuso Hietinen, the 31-year-old who plays for Dynamo Moscow in the KHL. Across for Aho. In comes Aho. Around Belov. Aho holds it. Back for Ville Laine to Aho. Down the goal line. Rantanen tries to center it. And it's skipped away from Hietinen. Got taken up with a teammate there, and Barabanov almost broke in. Now Barabanov has it back. Ooh, long shooting goes off the leg of Ville Laine and right down on Korpisalo. Now Hietinen settles things down for the Finns. 45 seconds to go in this power play. And Julius Honka swings back.
Wow, they are burning seconds in their own zone. It's like they've got to work into this one particular pattern to get out of the zone. Get moving.
Honka holds the line. Julius Honka centers it. That's knocked away by Zub. Osala holds down for the Finns. He lost it though to Nichushkin, busting in 2-on-1, shorthanded. Nichushkin feeds it across, score! Kachev taps it home. A shorthanded goal makes it 2-0 Russia. Vladimir Kachev had 1 shift for 31 seconds in the first period. He comes out and scores a shorty here in the second.
Very efficient. The 23-year-old forward who plays in Kazan. Turnover by the Finns on the power play. Just a meandering, dreadful power play. And Nichushkin snaps his pass just over the stick of Honka, who gets a piece of it. It goes to Kachev. The Russians have their first shorthanded goal of the tournament, and it's 2-0.
Kachev has been with Kazan since the age of 15. Played the World Junior a few years ago for the Russians, and has a shorthanded goal here. Let's take them to a 2-0 advantage.
Nichushkin's first point in his 6th game in this tournament, the Dallas first rounder. Made a pretty nifty feed. Kachev puts it away.
Sometimes a power play can deflate your team, and that might be the case for the Finns here. Puljujärvi sends it in now and Dronov goes back.
Well, not only do you give up the shorthanded goal, Gord, but you know, to your point of the deflating your team, you start the second period on the power play. I mean, there's real hope in the locker room. Hey, we got a chance. We could be tied up here in the next 90 seconds. And here you are down a couple, and the hill's pretty big.
The Finns have only scored more than 3 goals in a game once. That was against Slovenia in a 5-2 win. But no Patrick Laine this year.
No Mikko Koivu, no Michael Granlund. I mean, that was a pretty good team last year.
Those guys that played in the World Cup, though, pretty much excused for coming here at the end of a very long year. Panarin. Long wrist shot. That's tipped wide by Kuznetsov. Orlov back with it. Orlov banks it around for Kucherov. Kucherov loose in the corner. Feeds that back for Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov. Back for Panarin. Now Panarin works in. Drops it back. Belov a long wrist shot that goes off the skate of Miro Aaltonen and high off the glass. Kucherov swings it back to Kuznetsov. Lines in, shoots with short side.
Well, this is starting to get dangerous here. This is penalty or goal against coming up. Maybe the Finns can clear as Lehtman's got some room.
And now lifts that down to the Russian zone, and the Finns get a much-needed change in. Still to come here tonight, the final game, the gold medal contest between Canada and Sweden. Järvinen pokes it around for Asala. Asala got tied up there by Dadonov. Stunk went wide from Gusev to Sapachev. Back for Gusev, in shoots, and Korpisalo kicks that away. Here they come again as Provorov works in. Provorov scored an electric goal for the Russians against the Finns in the gold medal game of the 2016 World Junior. 9 seconds left, tied that game up. Sent it to overtime. And Kasperi Kapanen scored the golden goal for the Finns in that OT, but you can hear the entire country of Finland hold their breath after that goal. Sapachev fires that wide. Kiselevich looks ahead to Barabanov. He was bumped down by Kukunen. Mikko Rantanen steps around Kiselevich. Kiselevich picked his pocket. Barabanov plays it ahead. Plotnikov works back in, holds and shoots, and Korpisalo makes the glove save. And now Barabanov into it with Kukunen.
Sergei Plotnikov had a terrific chance. Nice move, turned aside nicely by Korpisalo. Here's the power, or the short-handed goal. Osala loses the puck. And now the Finns have to chase the play back into the zone. Lechuskin, a quick look, and then he locks eyes up with the goaltender, lays this pass flat off the stick of Honka, and Kachev makes it 2-0. Osala, former Washington Capital.
Played his 3 NHL games for Washington and Carolina after 2 years with Mississauga of the Ontario League. He plays now in Magnitogorsk in the KHL.
Ran into Magnitogorsk's old coach, Mike Keenan's around as he helps develop the KHL and the new hockey programs in China.
Kunlun is a expansion team in the KHL this past season. Now Savanainen goes off for a trip.
Finland number 19, minor penalty for tripping.
Not a great penalty. Kicks out the feet of Andronov. And the Russians, their second power play, their first one was very good. But this is a terrific power play with 15 power play goals in the tournament.
They too go to 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. I wonder if you see any teams in the NHL in a couple of years that will have 3 forwards, 2D on their first power play.
The only way you would is if somebody is so skilled back on the blue line that their first power play has 2 shooters on it.
Kuznetsov plays it up. Looks back for Antipin. It gets by Orlov. Altama feeds ahead for Kemppainen, shorthanded. Kemppainen in, shoots, and Vasilevsky makes the save on that. Now Kucherov has it back with the Finns changing, and Antipin brings it out. Across to Gusev. Gusev in, shoots. Korpisalo makes the save, juggles the rebound, and hangs on.
Pretty spotty start to this power play too, as Gusev lofts in that wrister. Korpisalo catches it, but now they got a face-off in the offensive zone. His first period goal gave Russia a 1-0 lead. He's got goals in back-to-back games. And
scored a funny one yesterday against Canada. Kind of fanned on it, went off his foot and in. Off the drop. Picked up by Kukunen and sent down the ice. A pass for Panarin. Artemi Panarin. Drops it back to Donov. Chips out into the finish zone. And Järvinen fires it back down the ice. 40 seconds to go in the Russian power play. A 2-0 lead on Finland, the bronze medal game of the 2017 World Championship. Next year's tournament will be in Copenhagen and Herning, Denmark. As Panarin works in, drops it back for Chapacha. Played back, Panarin with time, spots that down the goal line, score! Gusev again, a power play goal, and it's 3-0 Russia. His 4th power play goal of the World Championship.
Patience is such an amazing thing to have on the ice. Look at Panarin, he's gonna shoot this. No, I'm gonna pass it over here. Gusev knows he's got enough time to stop it, but once he stops it, he's still got the patience to move the puck, turn, and beat Korpisalo up into the top of the net. 7 goals in the tournament for Nikita Gusev. 4th in KHL scoring this past year. Lauri Marjamäki can just look at this half a game gone by almost and realize this is going to be a long afternoon for him.
Russia. Goal was scored by number 97.
Tight turnaround for the Finns. We saw this last year when the U.S. lost the late semifinal to Canada. They got crushed by the Russians in the bronze medal game. So Gusev ties William Nylander for the tournament goal lead with his 7th.
Nylander's got goals in back-to-back games. Goal and an assist in back-to-back games.
So many intriguing storylines tonight, including Nylander versus Marner. 2 great young players going head-to-head.
John Cooper against his #1 defense pair, Hedman and Stroman.
After he faced 3 members of Lightning in yesterday's semifinal game here for Team Russia. Filppula back at the point for Ville Laine. Long wrist shot, goes off a skating line, is 7-8, and had to hit him down low. A pile up in the corner, Kukkonen stepped into Nemestikov, and Kukkonen getting hazardous out there for the Finns. Brought in by Nichushkin, drops it back for Nemestikov. Kiselevich in, shoots, scores! In off the arm of Korpisalo. It's 4-0 Russia.
That's going to be it for Jonas Korpisalo. Harry Sateri is quickly getting ready on the bench. Bogdan Kiselevich's 3rd goal of the tournament as Russia is just shredding the Finns right now. They take the puck deep in the corner and reverse it back. Look how much room Kiselevich has to shoot the puck. He beats Korpisalo on the blocker side. As it goes off his blocker, he funnels it back into the net. And for Korpisalo, that's 4 goals on 18 shots. And in comes Harry Sateri once he gets his mask and gloves in order at the Finnish bench.
Korpisalo, who spent this season with the Columbus Blue Jackets, gets pulled for the 2nd straight start. And it will be Harry Sateri, who plays for Vityaz Podolsk and the KHL, to come in. And Sateri came on for that win against Switzerland. Took a loss against Canada, then was terrific against the United States. Allowed 4 goals on 31 shots last night against Sweden.
Goal for Team Russia. Goal was scored by number 55, Bogdan Kiselevich. Assist by number 19.
Right call at the finish line. The Russians pulling it on here in the bronze medal game in Cologne.
28 minutes and 60 seconds. Tor für Russland, der Torschütze mit der 55. Bogdan Kiselevich, der Assistent mit der 90. Branislav Nemestikov mit der 43, verliert Nichushkin. Die Zeit 28:16.
Передачи Владислава Наместникова, номер 90. И Валерия Ничушкина, номер 43. Шайбу забросил Богдан Киселевич, номер 55.
Team Finland don't give a change out of goal number 70. Jonas Korpisalo In goal, number 29, Harry Setter, time 8:28.16. Total mixed by Team Finland.
Just to add insult to the Finns, Mikko Pierala takes a slashing penalty after the center ice face-off, so the Russians, who scored in their last power play, go back to work with it.
Power play goal, a short-handed goal, an even strength goal. The second period, 8.5 minutes in, has been all Russia.
Bidding for a medal in the fourth consecutive World Championship are the Russians. Gold medalists in 2012 and 2014. Panarin. Back for Belov across to Shipachev. Centers it. Gusev. Try to play that back. It's picked off and sent down the ice by Ossila.
Last year's bronze medal game was a 7-2 drubbing.
Hammer Team USA.
This is shaping up to be the same thing.
Dadonov now with it. Dadonov tries to throw that back. Feeds it back for Panarin. Where the success has eluded the Russians has been the Olympics. Time after time. Last medal, Salt Lake City, a bronze. Last gold is the unified team in Albertville in 1992. Dadonov plays it back. Panarin works it across. Kapachev fanned on that. And the puck on the back of the net. The Russians arguing.
Right after giving up the goal to go down 4-0, there's the penalty on Mikko Pierala. So the Russians, who've not really been sharp on the power play, they have the one power play goal from Gusev, have a minute left in this one.
Plotnikov plays that back to Orlov. Across he goes for Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov hangs that back to Orlov. Out back, here's Kucherov back with it. And Tipin taps it back to Orlov. Across he goes to Kuznetsov. Brings that around, the line held by Kucherov. Now the goal line, Plotnikov. Kuznetsov to Orlov. Kuznetsov walks in, swings it across. Kucherov shoots. That was blocked by Järvinen, as Kucherov didn't get all of it. Now Kucherov winds and fires again. He's fanned on that.
He's got a hole in that stick. He hasn't missed too many of those shots all year, as he's over 40 goals this year.
Scored 17 power play goals in the NHL this year. Kuznetsov fires. Zachary knocks it away. Pierala steps back on the ice. Now a centering pass got by Kuznetsov, bounced by Antipin and back out to the Russian zone.
The Russians scored in the first period, or had a chance in the first period where a pass from the corner came to, Kuznetsov stepped over the puck. There he tried a back heel pass. Looks like he's playing a shinny game out there today. He's having a little bit of fun. It's an amazing play.
Barabanov with it now, drops it back in front. Sandry makes the glove save on Nemesnikov in tight, and the Finns clear it out. Artem Zub. Left in the corner. You think about countries that will get punished by NHL non-participation in the Olympics. Finland, a country of 5.5 million people. Small player pool to begin with, pretty good one, but you take Laine, Koivu, Granlund and company out.
Well, look at this team, which is in over their heads here.
Aho walks in.
You won't have Aho. You won't have Rantanen. It'll be pretty tough for him. Second period is a shorthanded goal. Kachov from Nichushkin. Gusev on the power play from Panarin. And then Kizilevich makes it 4-0. And that was it for Jonas Korpisalo. Last two games in the tournament he started. He got yanked both times. He gave up 6 goals on 24 shots. That's a crappy way to go into the summer.
Telegan centers it. Tipped wide there by Provorov, who had snuck in. Provorov to Telegan. Nichushkin. We were talking to Kelly McCrimmon, the GM and coach in Brandon, about Provorov when he was 18. I said, how long do you think he's ready for the NHL? He said, yesterday. Long shot by Provorov goes wide. Telegan. Back for Provorov, just out of his reach. And Dadonov back to pick it up.
And the Flyers got a boatload of young D-men, including Philippe Myers, who's an undrafted free agent somehow at 6'7", right-handed, and can skate.
Aho back with it, Sebastian Aho. Works it back around, in shoots, that was blocked, gets it back, fires again, Vasilevsky makes a save.
Terrific save and excellent effort again by Sebastian Aho. He's been their best player in this tournament. Look how strong he is, he's 176 pounds.
A cold shoulder there on Mironov. Still has the puck. Swings it down to Ottama, to Honka. Julius Honka. Works it back down, Ottama in, shoots, and Vasilevsky knocks that away. Altonen. Looks down to Piltrin, taken down by Mironov, and Mironov will get a penalty for that. 6:55 to go in the second period. The Finns, the power play, down by 4.
Rush shot number 94, minor penalty for cross-checking.
Sebastian Aho with a little how do you do to Andrei Mironov. As you mentioned before, Ray, 24 goals for Aho with 82 games at Carolina this year. That would make you money in the bank to be at least a Calder Trophy finalist as Rookie of the Year, but not this year.
Yeah, he almost got clapped by the field this year when you look at the very top end with Zach Werenski and Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine as the finalists for the Calder Trophy, rather.
Making the all-rookie team at forward might be a stretch.
Well, who are you leaving off at? Barner, Nylander, Aho?
Now a centering pass moved across to Filppula.
So you got to think.
Well, 2 of those 3 are off because Matthews is going to be there, Laine.
Yeah, see, 2 out of 3 are in the book, so.
It's a tough class.
It's a really, really tough call.
Jesse Puljujärvi, the 4th overall pick in last summer's draft. Drops that back. Finns went 2nd and 4th in last year's draft. As Miro Altonen works in, shoots, Vasilevsky kicks that out. Chance for Puljujärvi, goes off a stick into the corner. And we expect that Miro Heiskanen, the Finnish defenseman, will go in at least the top 5 in this year's draft. Filppula swings it back to Julius Honka, shoots, Vasilevsky makes a glove save.
Miro Altonen's going to have the puck low to the net, and as Osala goes to shoot it, that's good work by Antipin. He's the small defenseman on the outside of the bigger Osala, but he's got good stick position, and he's able to help that pass go past the front of the net untouched.
Puck slips over the stick of Billy Lyonen. .40 seconds to go in the Finnish power play. Aho winds in, Sebastian Aho. Gatchev, who had that short-handed goal earlier, knocks it away. Now moved out by Billy Lyonen for Aho. Sebastian Aho taken down by Plotnikov. And sent down the ice by Kiselevich. I guess, Ray, you'd make the Russians the favorite in Pyeongchang, would you not?
Why?
Given the current...
I think so, although I look at the Russian lineup and it's impossible to notice what they're going to be missing as well.
Now a steal by Nichushkin working in. He set up the short-handed goal earlier. Now comes steaming back in. Nichushkin pulls it back around and pulls over Aho.
I mean, the difference they have is their depth because of the KHL is better than anybody else's.
Right. Then who? Sweden? They got a pretty good core of players playing in their domestic league.
I guess it depends
what
the finality of who's going to be available is.
Right. If there's no NHL players available, no one on a one-way contract, then it gets really interesting. You're gonna dust off your skates, right?
I told you, I'm always ready to make a comeback if they get rid of the need to back check.
Body checking?
I'm not really fussy about that anymore either.
Yeah, so no back checking, no body checking, anything else?
Do I have to forecheck really hard too? I just really want to stand out there on the power play.
What do you want to do, Ray? Like, I'm going to need you to give me something here.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm not delusional enough to think, oh, gee, I could get in good enough shape to do that.
Well, I wonder, though, if some retired players would think about it. Guys have been out 1 or 2 years.
I would think it's possible if you've just retired. Like, if you retire at the end of this year, you could probably do it. If you retired at the end of last year and you haven't played this year, man, oh man, I don't know how you'd ever get that back. Because you don't retire at 26. You're generally retiring when you got a few more miles on the car.
Panarin works it back down to Kuznetsov. Throws that back in the corner. In the early 80s, the United States got relegated out of the A pool, the World Championship. Had to play in the Division B to get promoted. That's in December. So they had to put together a team of players, basically retired guys, college guys, whoever they could find to go over and play in that B pool and win it. They did. Kucherov works in 3-on-1 to Kuznetsov. Back for Kucherov. The pass in behind him. Kuznetsov is officially playing shitty. Backemski with the shoots. And Sathry makes the save. I'm going to say in Washington he doesn't pass that puck.
I was going to bet the house he was going to pass that one.
Vasilevich throws that wide. And in comes Orlov.
And the Finns are just totally overmatched. When you look at the teams on paper, there's no way the United States should have lost to the Finns. They laid an egg, they were outworked, and they didn't have it on one day, and the Finns deserved to win that game. But it shouldn't have happened.
An American team that beat both the Swedes and the Russians in the preliminary round doesn't get a crack at either team after losing to Finland in the quarters. Donov trying to throw that back in front, off the leg of Yanni Laiman it goes. And Ocelot throws it into Puljujärvi. Single game tournament hockey. Again, they medal round, and amazing what can happen. Upsets every year, huh? I mean, really.
It doesn't even need to be a bad day for you. I mean, look at Canada. They totally dominated Germany in the quarterfinal game. It was 2-1 with 6 minutes left after Germany scored the shorthanded goal by Yannick Seidenberg.
Aho works in. Sebastian Aho. Knocked away by Vasilevsky. France, since 2014, has beaten Russia, Canada, and Finland at the World Championship. Icing call against the Russians with 1:21 to go here in the second, and there's Kuznetsov.
Panarin's going to get this puck out to Kucherov, and Kuznetsov's in alone, but he still wants to spin it back to Kucherov, and the pass is deflected away. Then the puck comes right back to him. He tries to get Sathry up over the blocker, and He's in his 5th game, and Evgeny Kuznetsov changes the dynamic of the team when he shows up for Russia. Disappointing loss yesterday. They were so good for 40 minutes. And then they gave up that early power play goal to Mark Scheifele at the start of the 3rd period and gave up 19 shots, could never get it back.
Yetun. Up ahead for Pierala.
1 minute left in the second period. Es läuft die letzte Minute und 2 Minuten.
Up down by Yetun. Lehtinen, lead pass, finds Savanainen. Working to Savanainen, his backhand shot drifted wide, and now Belov has it back. Anton Belov leaves it there for Victor Antipin.
And Dronov's on the limp again for the Russians. Man, he needs an ice bucket to jump into. This season can't end quick enough for him.
Now brought in Rantanen's shot. Vasilevsky save, rebound, tap across, score! Mikko Rantanen takes the pass and slips it behind Vasilevsky, and the Finns are on the board with 26 seconds left in the second period.
A sloppy turnover by the Russians. They've got full possession of the puck, and Dronov has to leave the ice as he's banged up. So they've really only got 4 guys on the ice. Mikko Rantanen's going to be the recipient of this and get his 4th of the tournament. Intercepted at the blue line by Rantanen. Vasilevsky's going to make the first stop, and the rebound's going to pop right out to Val Filppula, and Filppula is able to get it to Rantanen, and it's into the net, and it's 4-1.
Oh, that off the turnover by Belov, who threw it up the middle of the ice. So the Finns get 1 back as Panarin walks in. Panarin shoots this short side. Kuznetsov took down Rantanen and patted him on the way by. Final seconds now of the period. Savanainen trying to dig that free. Kiselevich plays it across to Orlov, and time expires here at the end of the second period. Russians take a 4-0 lead. The Finns get a late one. It's 4-1 after 2.
The score after the second period, Team Russia 4, Team Finland 1. Nach dem zweiten Drittel Russland, Finnland 4-1.
Закончился второй период. Счет 4-1 в пользу сборной команды России. Статистика бросков поворотов во втором периоде. Россия 12, Финляндия 9. Спасибо.
Die Schussstatistik im zweiten Drittel. Russland mit 12 Schüssen aufs Tor, Finnland mit 9 Schüssen. Shots on goal in the second period. Team Russia 12, Team Finland 9.
Не знаю, трудно судить. Мы, в принципе, обе команды вчерашние матчи забыли, как бы, да, и играем сегодняшнюю новую игру. А то, что...
Итоги второго периода матча за 3-е место чемпионата мира Россия-Финляндия подводим с защитником нашей сборной Богданом Киселевичем. Богдан, ну несмотря на то, что сейчас в концовке пропустили, тем не менее 4-1 и полное преимущество нашей сборной. Россия так, вернее финны так плохие, или Россия настолько зла после вчерашнего?
Не знаю, трудно судить. Мы, в принципе, обе команды вчерашние матчи забыли, как бы, да, и играем сегодняшнюю новую игру. А то, что происходит на льду, вы сами видите.
Забросили очередную шайбу на этом турнире. Ожидали, что таким результативным именно для вас получится этот чемпионат мира?
Ну, ты всегда хочешь, чтобы команда твоя выиграла, а как он уже получится, лично 10-й ставишь на 2-е место, да? Так что, ну, я очень рад этому, но как бы дело не сделано еще.
Но можете, тем не менее, для себя назвать этот турнир успешным или
Давайте
нет?
поговорим об этом, когда он завершится.
С удовольствием. Спасибо. Богдан Киселевич подводил вместе с нами итоги второго периода матча Россия-Финляндия.
We've seen already 5 goals between Russia and Finland, but now we want to have a look at the top 3 goals of the semi-finals yesterday. You can watch on the screen now. Wir schauen in dieser zweiten Pause auf die Top 3 Tore des vergangenen Tages, also auf gestern, auf die Halbfinals. Jetzt auf die Video für die Top 3 Tore.
Дамы и господа, сейчас по традиции во втором перерыве вашему вниманию мы предоставляем 3 самых красивых гола полуфинальных матчей. Внимание на экран!
Going into the third period, Team Finland.
Дамы и господа, встречайте сборная команда России!
Last period coming. These two teams, barring an overtime, the Russians with a 4-1 lead, bidding for their 4th consecutive medal at the World Championship.
Gold in 2014, silver in 2015, the bronze last year. Look for a repeat of that 20 minutes away.
You ever played one of these, a bronze medal game of the World Championship?
No, I did not.
So it's one of those ones where players that play in bronze medal games always tell you that you don't realize till afterwards how much better it is to win it than to lose it.
Right now, it's, it seems like such an effort to get up to play. You're so disappointed after losing your chance for the gold medal game.
Orlov works his way in. Yet we talked about it time after time as that save was made by Santori. The backhand shot by Andronov. The team that wins this game will likely be in a better mood than the team that gets the silver later on tonight.
One of the tournaments I played in, we lost to the Finns. The winning goal was 19 seconds left. In the final game, it was just a crushing loss, and so there would be no question that the bronze medal would have been a heck of a lot happier than we were getting the silver hung on our necks.
Rantanen throws that rink wide, too far for Savanainen. Belov goes back for it. Anton Belov wearing the C now for the Russians after Sergei Mozyakin, a longtime Russian national team player, was injured in their game against Germany. Unable to continue after he was slew-footed by Patrick Hager of Germany. Got a 2-game suspension for that.
Mozyakin, the 36-year-old, led the KHL in scoring with 85 points this year. That was a big loss for them in the tournament. And I'm sure they can look at this, and when they look at the game against Canada, think, well, maybe we could have had a little more help with a little bit better health, but just not to be. Nikita Gusev has a couple of goals. In the first period, he walks down the circle and one-times the pass from Antipin. And then after he gets this feed from Panarin, he shows awareness and patience. He just doesn't flail away at the one-timer. He stops it, turns, and rifles it up over Korpisalo.
Leftonen shoots, scores! Off the glove of Vasilevsky and in, and it's 4-2.
Not so fast. Does this look familiar to the Russians? An early goal against in the third period. This time 1 minute and 16 seconds in. Mikko Lehtonen scores his second goal of the tournament. This is a brutal goal to give up by Vasilevsky. This thing is a 55, 56-foot wrist shot. Sebastian Aho wins the draw cleanly. No traffic. Off the bottom of the glove and in. And it's 4-2. He's got to stop that.
So life again for the Finns.
Goal for
They scored
Team Finland.
with 27 seconds left in the second period. They scored a minute 44 into the third. So in just over 2 minutes of play, they're back in the game.
Kucherov to Panarin, shoots, and Santori knocks that away. Does Harry Santori have another relief win in his arsenal? Kucherov centers that, Panarin back with it. Kucherov spins away from Lehtinen. Kuznetsov picks it up. His pass skips across to Orlov. Dmitry Orlov throws it back in, trying to find Kucherov. Played out by Hietinen. Kuznetsov buys some time and throws it back to Kiselevich. Lead pass finds Orlov, busting in. Orlov shoots, and racing back was Puljujärvi. Going to stick on that and knock it wide. Now the puck goes into the Finnish bench, and play is called.
This puck's deflected way out at the top by the Russian forward here. But this has still got to travel 40 feet after it's deflected. Vasilevsky's got to make this stop. This guy's happy his country has a chance here to squeak their way back into this.
Banked around Aaltonen, Miro Aaltonen. Back for Yakula, it skipped off his stick, and Plotnikov was bearing in. Now Barabanov works in, Barabanov shoots, put that high and wide. It bounced right back in front, Nemestikov gathers up the rolling puck. Nemestikov. Now to Barabanov. In the corner for Plotnikov. Plotnikov. Moves it back for Belov across to Antipin. Looking for the carom off the end board, didn't get it. And Yakula tries to poke that free. Bounces right back to Plotnikov, who kicks it in front. A quick chance for Nemestikov. Flip that high and wide. Russians with the pressure here after allowing the 4-2 goal. And now both teams will change as Yakula goes back for the loose puck. Jani Lainen. Up ahead to Osula. Oscar Osula drops it back. Ottama had that pass go off the skate of Honka and back down to the finish zone. At the Ottama. Moves away from Telegan. Brings it over at the line. Nichushkin pokes it back for Provorov. Right wide pass for Telegan. Bumped there by Ottama. Now Honka goes in on Andronov. Back at the point. Artem Zub shoots. That's blocked. And swatted ahead by Ottama. Sathary leaves it there for Honka. Shots are 25-19 in favor of the Russians overall. Rantanen centers it. Filppula back in the corner for Rantanen. Equal Rantanen for Savanainen. Here's in the corner now. Filppula goes for it. Rantanen trying to pick it free. At the line, held by Lassi Kukkonen. Back in behind the goal. Kiselevich got bumped there by Filppula. And finally set down by the Russians. That'll be an icing call at the end of a long shift.
Sergei Plotnikov has a puck battle going with Jonas Kemppainen, and so he kicks this out front to Nemestikov. His shot chips up over Harry Sathary, and it's funny what work rate does to a game. The Russians had everything so easy in the first period. Now they're getting outworked here. They don't get to the puck as quick. They don't make a quick pass. They don't have control of the play. And
now a penalty coming. A high sticking call is going to go to Gusev, and the Finns get a power play.
My goodness, this is just falling apart here for Russia. As
Russia number 97, minor penalty for high sticking.
There's the high stick as the Finns get their third power play chance. 4.5 minutes into the third period, and nothing has gone in the Russians' favor in this period, and quite simply, they haven't worked hard enough for it.
And T-bomb. T-man rather sends it down to the finish zone as Billy Lyonen picks it up. Lyonen had it turned over, trying to swat that back in, and chopped down by Aho. In comes Rantanen, and the play remains onside. Russians are up and screaming, thinking that should have been offside. Here's Aho with it. Aho down to Rantanen. Back in front, 7-9 fanned on that. And now Lyonen leans on that, and that shot was blocked by guess who? And drawn off again. Hietanen swings it back to Lyonen. Cross he goes to Aho. Sebastian Aho to the goal line, back in front, score! 7-9 banks it in, and the Finns are within one. Not so fast indeed.
And this is something to watch. Second day in a row, the Russians have collapsed like a house of cards. Canada got 4 in the third period yesterday. They've already given up 2. Aho, Rantanen, Savanainen worked the triangle play. Savanainen's going to try and one-time this. It's going about 5 feet wide of the net, and it bounces off Anton Belov, goes underneath the arm of Vasilevsky, and somehow it's 4-3. The Russians will use their timeout to try and gather themselves 5.5 minutes into the period. Veli-Matti Savanainen's had a really good tournament. I've noticed him quite a bit for the Finns. He's an aggressive little player. He played 20.5 minutes in the quarterfinal game. He's got his 3rd goal of the tournament. He had 30 this year. There's Rantanen's goal at the end of the second period. That was a terrible turnover by the Russians. They basically could have run the period out. They give the Finns a goal. Then they give up a quick one to Lehtinen. It's one that Vasilevsky should stop. Veli-Matti Savanainen banks one in off of Anton Belov, and it's 4-3.
Russians will have 6 goals in 25 minutes of third period play the last 2 games. 4 to Canada, and now 2 here to the Finns. A 4-3 game with 14 minutes left in the third period.
Sebastian Aho with a couple assists today for the Finns as they've mounted this comeback.
Now Kemppainen stripped there by Kuznetsov, centers it. Panarin fans on the shot. And think about all the cutesy plays the Russians made in the second period when they were playing playground hockey.
Well, here's the other thing is, now you can't discourage the Finns. They were so discouraged for about 35 minutes, and they could do whatever they wanted. When the Finns get that late goal, that's a crucial time in the game. They get the late goal, now they feel just a little bit better about themselves. Then they get an early goal, they feel a little better. Now you've got to fight to the end here.
13:28 to go here in the third period.
Oleg Zarnak had called his timeout to try and settle down his players.
Plotnikov trying to bring it in. Philpott got tangled up there with Rantanen. Amazing, Rantanen showing no ill effects of that Strawman hit from yesterday.
He was lucky. Well, actually, both of them were lucky they didn't get hurt on it as Strawman flipped over after making the open ice hit on Rantanen.
Icing called now against the Russians. No change. 13:07 to go in the third.
Another thing that's happening here is the Russians aren't making any plays anymore. And I don't mean up the ice in the offensive zone. You just saw they had the puck, they just slap it down the ice. So now the puck comes back to your end. You never stem the tide if you don't make a couple of passes to go up the ice.
Now it dribbles down to Vasilevsky, and he'll hang on. The Finns have scored twice here in the opening moments of the third period. The bronze medal game is now a 1-goal game.
Congratulations and a big cheer to Mr. Carsten Kicker for being the scorer fan of the game.
Nervous times now for the Russian fans, wanting to see their team at least come home with a medal from the World Championship. This is the first time the Finns and Russians have ever met for bronze at the Worlds. A 4-0 lead is now a 4-3 game. By the way, no team has ever overcome a 4-goal deficit to win a bronze medal game. Worked in by Filppula. The play is called offside at the Russian line.
Val Filppula set up Mikko Rantanen for the goal that made it 4-1. Savanainen scored on the power play to make it 4-3.
Savanainen led the Finnish league in goal scoring this year with 30 goals for Tampere. That city will co-host the 2022 World Championship. It was announced this week that Riga, Latvia, and Minsk, Belarus will share the 2021 tournament. Helsinki and Tampere, the 2022 tournament. Next year, Copenhagen and Herning, Denmark. Following year, Bratislava in Slovakia, then Zurich, Switzerland. Puljujärvi works in. Yes, the Puljujärvi got loose and Zub knocked that away. Provorov banks it off the boards. Nichushkin in the battle for it. Now Aho has it at center ice. Two goals on 3 shots here for the Finns in the third period.
Andrei Vasilevsky has played all but 80 minutes of this tournament for the Russians.
Laid pass to Kucherov, in, shoots, center, he makes the save, rebound, score! Kucherov gets his own bounce, taps it home, and the Russians are back up by 2.
Harry Sattery had stopped the first 7 shots he faced when he came into the game here. Puck bounces into the middle of the ice and Gusev pushes this up to Kucherov. Kucherov's shot eludes Sattery and it's just sitting in the crease. Sattery can't squeeze it, he knows he doesn't have it, but Kucherov dives to it. His 7th of the tournament. And a critical mistake by Harry Sattery as the Finns trail by 2 again.
So Kucherov, Gusev, and William Nylander now all tied for the tournament goal lead with 7 apiece. Long shoot and handled by Vasilevsky. Puck goes off the glass, out of play. 11:46 to go now in the third, and a 5-3 Russian lead.
Quick pass up the ice to Kucherov, and the puck is right there. Sattery just can't reach it. He knows he doesn't have it. When he spins to get it, he's trying to knock it away. Marjamäki can only watch as Kucherov celebrates, and it's 5-3.
So 3 of the 5 Russian goals have been scored by Tampa Bay Lightning players, or prospects anyway. Gusev has 2. He was a draft pick in 2012. And Kucherov now to make it a 2-goal lead. I mentioned the other day, Ray, Kucherov goal scoring his first 4 NHL seasons, 9, 29, 30, 40. Lehtinen, long shot, knocked away by Vasilevsky. And Lehtinen back with it. Lehtinen for Ocelot, chips that down in the Russian zone. In comes Jani Lyonen for it. Lyonen kicks it across, trying to find Rantanen. Now Ocelot shoots, and it went off a leg and bounced in front. Lehtinen had to hold as Dodonov had the loose puck. Lehtinen. Fires it down the Russian zone. Filppula with a centering pass, and Savanainen just missed that. Honka moved that right towards his own goal. Dodonov picks it up, and a chance tapped wide there by Gusev. Savanainen drops it back for Honka. Tied up by Dodonov. Ultima for Savanainen. And the Shaibu chant goes up here in Cologne. The play called offside at the Russian line.
That's a real kick in the shins for the Finns as they had come back to 1 goal down, and Harry Sateri had done a nice job in relief of Jonas Korpisalo, but he can't handle the Kucherov wrister. Kucherov just too quick to the rebound. Sateri just a couple inches away of poking that puck out of harm's way.
Tkachev drops that back for Kiselevich. That pass missed. Icing called against Russia. Oleg Zark will become the first coach ever to guide Russia to 4 consecutive medals. Actually, would join 2 others to win 4 medals for Russia at the World Championship. Tarasov and Tikhonov the others. Chopped down by Plotnikov, and here's Hietanen with it. Znarak also coached Latvia at the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. Gusev up for Telegan, knocked down by Hietanen. That pass missed, picked up by Nichushkin, sends it back in front, and Osula has it back for the Finns. Lehtinen, lead pass, chopped at by Zub. And now Provorov goes back for it. Loose behind the goal for a moment. Yanni Lainen skated by the puck, and Telegan chips it out. Tipped in there by Kuznetsov. And now Panarin chops it down. Lasse Kukkonen, 35-year-old captain of the Finnish national team. Lobbed that down to the Russian zone. Provorov moves it ahead, trying to find Kucherov. He falls. And Ultima has it back. And Tipin chips it back. And Belov throws it back through the middle, picked up. Ultima long shot. Vasilevsky makes the save and hangs on. And Ultima gets bumped there by Anton Belov.
Kucherov had a couple of misfires on the power play. He doesn't miss very often. He and Kuznetsov miss on the 2-on-1, and then it's his effort that makes it 5-3 as he sniffs out the loose puck and swats it into the net.
Kucherov spent 1 year in the Quebec Major Junior League after being drafted by Tampa. 7 goals now in the tournament. Kiselevich back to pick it up. Poked up by Orlov. Honka holds the line for the Finns. Plays it back in the corner for Rantanen. Savanainen. Works it free and behind the goal. Savanainen. All the way across the top. Drops it off for Honka. Julius Honka centers it up by everyone. Savanainen on the one-timer put it wide. Now Savanainen back with it. And fished by Honka and back down the ice. And icing waved off as Ultima went back a little casually. Tried to milk that into an icing call. Ultima. Around to Puljujärvi. Jesse Puljujärvi. Gain center ice, comes across the line and flicks that around, trying to find Pierala. Yettinen waiting for it. Aho plays it back. Puljujärvi, a hard shot. That goes wide. Pierala feeds that around. Here's Yettinen on it. Now moving up is Lehtinen as he collides with Plotnikov, who plays it back to center, and Yettinen back to pick it up. Lead pass to Kemppainen. Fires that down to the Russian zone. A centering pass by Jani Lyon and just missed Kemppainen. And now Andronov has it back for the Russians to Telegan with Nichushkin. Telegan centers it, and Kukunen coming back, picked off that pass. Now Telegan steals it right back. Trying to center it, and once again Kukunen blocked the pass. Telegan feeds it back to Belov. Rink wide to Antipin. Shoots, and it got through the traffic. Sattery kicked that away. Back down to the Russian zone it goes as Belov swings back. Belov drops it off for Antipin. Belov poking at it. Moves it ahead to Kuznetsov. He's got Panarin with him. Kuznetsov in. His stick was tied up there by Savanainen. That's going to be a penalty against the Finns. They'll think it's Savanainen for the hook. And so the Russians will go to the power play with 5:32 to go here in the third period.
Finland number 19, minor penalty for hooking.
For the juniors and happened for the jackpot. Every fifth block is a win. Current jackpot €845. Die weißen Fans unterstützen deutschen Eishockey in Nachwuchs und Haupteinlos bei der 50-50-Lotterie. Die Hälfte geht direkt in die Nachwuchsarbeit, die andere Hälfte in den Jackpot. Jedes fünfte Los gewinnt. Derzeitiger Jackpot-Stand €845.
Дамы и господа, поддержите программу развития детского хоккея Германии. Купите лотерейные билеты 50 на 50. Одна половина выручки пойдет на работу с молодыми хоккеистами от другая на джекпот.
So hooking call made by Canadian referee Brett Iverson. By the way, both the referees in this game are Canadians, Brett Iverson and Oliver Gouin. That's a good sign for them to get assignments on the last day. That would bode well if they're bidding to work at the Pyeongchang Olympics.
They can't do the final game, correct, with
Right.
Canada
No.
in it.
So this is the best they could do today.
And yet it's, as the teams fight to last to the end of the tournament, so do these officials. It's a big deal for them to get to this point. Now their evaluation continues, and the officials group will evaluate who might be part of the crew in Pyeongchang.
Right. So no NHL referees. So normally they take 6 NHL officials. Kucherov on the power play, feeds it back for Kiselevich, works it down to Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov plays it around for Panarin. And Panarin back for Kucherov. 17 power play goals he scored this season in the NHL to tie up the league lead with Alex Ovechkin and Brayden Schenn. Kucherov taps it back to Kuznetsov. Centering pass, and now Panarin back with it. Artemi Panarin. Swings that reek wide. Aho got a stick on that, knocks it down. And Sebastian Aho spins back, spins away from Panarin and moves it out. 3 Russians converge on Aho, who finally swings that down and behind the Russian goal. Kuznetsov works in. Haven't seen Sapachev lately.
No, not seen him at all in this period.
Osala works it in, and the second power play comes on.
And there's no Shapachev.
Now a lead pass to Gusev. Just off his stick and played away by Sattery. Head back down to the Russian zone. 4 to go here in the third period. Brought up by Gusev. Lines in. Gusev, a quick head fake. Throws that wide of the goal. And now Antipin trying to knock it down. Antipin in for Nemesnikov. Spun back for Dodonov. Final seconds now on the power play. Belov with it. For Dodonov. Works in. Waits. Trying to drop that down. Could have blocked it. And a quick shot there by Nemesnikov. Turned away by Saturi. Kemppainen drops it back. Savanainen shoots. Vasilevsky made the save. Didn't have it for a moment. And then hung on.
It's not been the smoothest third period for Andrei Vasilevsky. With 30 seconds left in the second period, he had a 4-0 lead. Then it got to 4-3. Kucherov's goal made it 5-3. And everything's been a fight and a battle. Look, he doesn't have it under his pad. It's Savanainen has this right on the far post. The Finns have pulled their goaltender with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left, as they hope to give themselves a chance here if they can get one, to get within one.
Face off though. Won by Andronov, played down by Provorov. Andronov was a St. Louis pick back in 2009. Spent 2 years in the American League. Been good for the Russians here in this tournament.
Really good, really strong defensively, and he's laid his body on the line here a few times.
Provorov for Nichushkin. Finish net is empty as Nichushkin tries to bring it up. Puljujarvi comes back on him. Nichushkin has it back. Works in and can't get it to sit for him. And now Andronov has it back.
Nichushkin could have passed that puck 3 times and it would have been in the net. But he had his head buried and he was going to try and stick handle through the 5 jerseys that were back there wearing the Finnish colors.
Lehtinen works in, fires, and Vasilevsky makes a save on that.
Not so sure about Nichushkin's vision.
Rantanen to Kemppainen.
Actually, I am kind of sure about it.
I was going to say. 2 to go here in the third period. Rantanen knocks it down. Finland with 6 skaters on 5 for Russia. Billy Linen works it in for Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen to Kemppainen to Filppula. Centers it. It bounced by Savanainen and Rantanen.
Gotta give the Finns some credit here. There's just no quit in
Filppula. Drops it down to Rantanen. Back to Filppula. Works in. Drops it down. Rantanen works it back at the point. Yetnin feeds it across. Linen shoots and Vasilevsky fights it off. And Nemesnikov sends it softly down to the Finnish zone as Yetnin picks it up. Savanainen. In for Rantanen. Snaps that pass rink wide for Aho, but the play's offside at the Russian line.
It's been a great tournament for Sebastian Aho. Got a couple assists today, as you see. Most certainly when the best players are handed out, Sebastian Aho has to be one of the Finns. Excellent tournament for him, 11 points. The Russians are 68 seconds away from back-to-back bronze medals.
And the next stop for them and these other teams today will be at the senior level, the Pyeongchang Olympics. And all the uncertainty about who will be available. Puljujarvi with a steal now. Works it back in front. Quick shot there, taken by Pierrella, stopped by Vasilevsky. And there's an injured Russian player.
He's lying on his back behind the net. I think this is Anton Belov. Oh.
Just did the splits and oof.
You're 47 seconds away from the end of the season. That is really, look at him grab his hamstring.
That's reminiscent of Brendan Gallagher in Montreal. Remember, just kind of caught his heel on the ice and
literally you're less than a minute away from the end of the season.
Take him right to the Russian room.
Yesterday they lost Vladislav Gavrikov, the 21-year-old who was tied up in an awkward collision with Alex Killorn, and he left basically the same way. This is brutal. That's just, now the summer's gonna start, and the first whatever part of it is rehab. You have to try and recover from whatever this injury is. You see him scream on the ice. That's really, really a tough injury. So the Finns have called their timeout. Drop a face-off play and hope for one, and then give it one last gasp.
Though survived to the final day, which was by no means guaranteed just a few days ago.
They're not going to walk out of here most likely with a medal, but they should be pretty proud of the effort that their players put in, even undermanned as they were, one of the last 4 teams standing.
Honker down to Aho, Sebastian Aho. Swings it down the center, pass 7 and turned away in tight by Vasilevsky. Puljujärvi trying to dig it free. Move back to the front of the goal. Kiselevich takes a whack at that. Aho in, shoots, that's blocked. Another chance put high of the goal by Savanainen. Plotnikov taken down. Shot towards the goal by Honka. At the line, swung up by Puljujärvi, who keeps it alive. Now back out to center ice it goes. Final seconds now, the third period. Aho swings that down. And the Russians, a day after a heartbreaking loss to Canada, bounce back and do take home a bronze medal, their 4th consecutive medal at the World Championship. They'll be 3rd. The Finns place 4th. There's 1 game remaining, Canada and Sweden, to play for the gold in about 2 hours' time. Vasilevsky, the 22-year-old Tampa netminder.
Team Russia 5, Team Finland 3.
Russians finished with a final record of 7 wins and 2 losses. Check out 8 wins and 2 losses. And the Finns finished 5 and 5. Stay for the medal presentations and the anthem. When the Russians look so powerful down the stretch, then tripped against the United States in the last round robin game. Lost that one 5-3. The only game in which they didn't score first in the tournament. Podium ready for the medal presentations. Later on tonight, the tournament all-star team will be announced. Also the top forward, top defenseman, top goalie, and MVP. I think Panarin there will be in the mix for the all-star team, leading the tournament in points. At least as of now. Now set for the post-game presentation.
Sure looked pretty easy for a while for Russia, up 4-0. And had to fight through for a 5-3 win.
2017 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The best player award, as selected by each team, will be presented by François Thibault, president of Tissot, and Vladislav Tretyak, president of the Russian Ice Hockey Federation and the Russian Ice Hockey.
He's still got it. Every time he walks into a room, Vladislav Tretyak has all the eyes on him.
Team Finland. Number 20, Sebastian Aho.
What a tournament he had. Oh, by the way, he's 19.
What a terrific player the Hurricanes drafted. Number 20 gets a handshake from the number 20.
And the best player of Team Russia. Number 55, Bogdan Kiselyevich.
Kiselyevich had a goal in the game.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the commemorative medals for the on-ice officials of the bronze medal game will now be
So the two
presented
Canadian
by
referees, Oliver
IIHF
Gouin,
President
Brett Iverson,
Vinny Fazet.
along with the linesman Miroslav Lutsky and Brian Oliver of the United States will
Welcome the
receive their medals. And
referees,
as you mentioned,
Brett Iverson,
for Iverson and Gouin to get the
Miroslav
call here
Lutsky,
to work
and
this
Brian
game
Oliver.
is a very good sign for them. With the Pyeongchang Olympics just around the corner. Fazell, the president of the IIHF, was a former official himself. Now time for the bronze medals.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medals will be presented by Bernhard Meyer, Chief Executive Officer of Skoda Auto AS, and Vladislav Tretyak, IIHF Council and President of the Russian Ice Hockey Federation.
And Tretyak comes back out to the medal presentation.
The 2017 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship bronze medal goes to Team Russia.
By the way, Vadim Shapachev is there. We didn't see him in the third period at all, but he is lining up to get a medal. Vasilevsky gets his bronze.
Anton Belov is not able to be out here for the ceremony, but I do see Vladislav Gavrikov in a tracksuit. The young Russian defenseman who was hurt yesterday.
So injuries really bit the Russians in this tournament. They lost Sergei Mozyakin, their captain, early on. Gavrikov last night. Kucherov gets his medal from Tretyak, who gives him some acknowledgement. There is Gavrikov getting his bronze.
He's 21 years old. I think we will see him in the NHL at some point, a Columbus draft choice.
Kucherov and Filppula, the former teammates in Tampa. And a real question about whether these guys will get to put that sweater on again at something other than the World Championship. Probably not the Olympics. World Cup 2020 still in doubt.
Well, not the Olympics this time.
Right, not the Olympics this time. Who knows beyond that? 2022 is a long way away, isn't it? An eternity for hockey players. 5 years from now.
5 years from now. Oh, can't even think that far. When you're playing, it's so immediate. Everything is
And now,
right in front of
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, please welcome Shoichi Tumita, IIHF Live member and tournament co-chairman, to present the third place awards.
And now the third place award to the Russians, and then the anthem.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the assistant captain
So
of
Belov,
Team
who was
Russia
wearing
to
the C,
accept the
was
third
hurt.
place award. Number 11, Sergei Andronov.
So Andronov, the alternate captain, will come forward to accept it. So Mosiakin and Belov both wore the C and both unable to finish.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Russian Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give a big hand for both teams. For Team Finland. And for Team Russia. There's one more game of this IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. It's the gold medal game, starting at 8:45 p.m. And the pre-game show started at 8:25 p.m. with a live performance by Cascada. So we kindly ask you to take your seat until 8:20 p.m. Thank you. Meine Damen und Herren, ein Spiel steht noch an bei dieser Eishockey-Weltmeisterschaft, das Finale. Um 20:45 Uhr geht's los. Die Show vor dem Finale beginnt um 20:25 Uhr. Dann ein Live-Auftritt von Cascada. Deshalb bitten wir Sie ganz herzlich, bis 20:20 Uhr einzunehmen.
Stand by. Spider senses are tingling.
was it for you to end off this tournament on a winning note?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling, getting to third place. We came here to win gold, but, I think in the semifinal, all the guys battled hard. We came up short, and today we came up with the mentality to win this game, and I think all the boys battled hard and won this game for each other and for the country.
So outside of winning this medal here, what's the biggest positive you're going to take out of this experience?
Just, World Championships is, best players in the world play from all different countries, so it's a really good experience, a lot of good players.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing this. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Good, right?
Так, мой собеседник Артемий Панарин. Артемий, медаль солидная, выглядит здорово. Вам нравится?
Если честно, на прошлом были лучше, но главное, за что она, в принципе.
Но по ощущениям, несмотря на то, что вас, конечно, можно поздравить с этой бронзовой медалью, вот эта сборная России по потенциалу, такое ощущение, была достойна большего.
Да, это самое обидное, то, что не воспользовались этим годом, когда собралась именно боевая команда, и внутри команды совсем другой коллектив был. Все были сплоченные, молодые пацаны, все заряженные, поэтому было здорово. И, конечно, что проиграли канадцам, немножко было как-то, не знаю, если можно это назвать несправедливо или случайно, но как есть. Ладно, хоть сегодня выиграли. Хотелось бы как раз сказать всем людям, кто нас поддерживал там у телевизора, переживал, большое спасибо, особенно тем, кто приехал и нашел время и очень помогли нам здесь на арене, поддерживали. В принципе, каждую команду наши болельщики перекричали.
Артемий, снова проблема третьего периода в полуфинале и в матче за бронзу. Не смогли решить за короткий срок вот это?
Не смогли сейчас. Сейчас после игры подготовимся нормально уже. Со следующего сезона все периоды будем играть. За третий период дадим сейчас.
Артемий Панарин, бронзовый призер чемпионата мира по хоккею.
Команда России 30-секундный период.
Deshalb bitten wir Sie ganz herzlich, die Plätze schon bis 20 Uhr.